Hey, I'm getting ready to read chapter 4 of Hour of the Doom Dog. Wow, shrieked Toby as they walked through the archway and onto the pier. If you hook a duck, you win a fish. No way, muttered Joe. He recently had a run in with a very grumpy undead goldfish and had put him off fish for life. Over here, called Damon, who was standing by another stall with Dad and Uncle Lynn. Bet I can knock a coconut off before you, Joe. The boys paid their money and picked up their weapons, 3 little yellow beanbags each. Doink! Yes, shouted Damon as his first beanbag knocked down a coconut. Yes! Another one fell. Doink! Another one fell. Damon took down the third coconut and punched the air triumphantly. Your turn, Joe, said Damon smugly. Splat! Damon snickered as Joe's bag hit the back of the tent. Come on, Joe, it's easy. Joe tried again. Thunk! His beanbag fell short, landing on the floor. Tough luck, Joe called Dad. Don't try so hard, boomed Uncle Lynn. Do it like Damon. Joe resisted the urge to throw his last beanbag at his cousin's head. Instead, he hurled it at a coconut. Yes, yelled Toby as the bag hit the coconut. It wobbled but stayed in the cup. Joe let out a groan. You need more practice, Uncle Lynn laughed and high-fived Damon. That's 1-0 me, Damon said to Joe. What? I beat you. So that's one game for me and none for you. Joe scowled. It was always the same with Damon. Everything was a competition. Joe's great at the claw machine, said Toby. The what? Damon's eyes narrowed. You know, the grabber thing that picks up a prize, explained Toby. Show me, said Damon. They raced into the arcade, straight toward a big glass stuffed with toys and candy. Easy, said Damon, putting his money in. Slot, I'm going for the skull. He wiggled the joystick, and the claw began moving until it was almost directly above a small plastic skull filled with candy. Just a bit more, said Damon. But then the machine began to flash. It's about to grab, squealed Toby. I'm not ready, wailed Damon as the claw dived down to grab the skull. Miss, Toby beamed triumphantly. The empty claw returned to its position. That's not fair, Damon glared. No one told me I was up against the timer. It gives you 30 seconds to get in position, explained Joe. Then it grabs. Joe put his coin into the slot. No, Joe, cried Toby. Carefully, he edged the claw until it was right above the skull. But then Frankie thundered into the arcade and charged after him. Joe jerked the lever wildly. No, he shined. Ha! Damon snickered. You missed too. Joe, barked Frankie, pawing at Joe's ankle with his claw. I lost the man on the beach. You've got to help them find them. I nearly had it, groaned Joe. Yeah, Damon smirked. Look, air hockey. Come on, Toby. I'll take you on. Maybe you're better than your brother. When they'd gone, Joe turned on Frankie. I almost had that prize. You're supposed to be helping me, growled Frankie, his green zombie eyes flashing. Joe crouched down and pretended to fiddle with the shoelaces in case anyone was watching. Listen, what are you going to do if you find the robbers anyway? Frankie cocked his head to one side as though he was thinking about it. Spy on them. How will that help? They might say what time they're coming on Saturday. Joe rolled his eyes. That's crazy. Fat guys don't lie around the beach shouting about their next crime. Frankie glared at Joe. What are we going to do then? Joe paused. He hadn't really thought about it. We'll have to go back to the hotel and keep watch, he said finally, and try to find out what they're going to steal. Frankie jumped to his feet. Great plan. Let's go. Soon, whispered Joe. He could see Damon waving to him from the air hockey table. First, I've got to beat my cousin. We got the passing of time. Half an hour later, Joe had lost every game that Damon had challenged him to. They finally left the arcade and walked back onto the pier. Can we get some ice cream? Toby asked, peering at a cafe window. Dad shook his head. Mom just texted. She's wondering where we are. Please, Dad, Toby whined. I bet I can eat more ice cream than you, hissed Damien in Joe's ear. I love a sundae, Uncle Lynn exclaimed. Come on, my treat. I think we should head back, began Dad. But Uncle Lynn was already pushing open the cafe door. Grab that table by the window, Damon. I'll get more chairs. The five of them crowded around the only empty table in the cafe, and Uncle Lynn waved to a waitress to take the order. What's everyone having, he asked. Death by chocolate, Damon, with extra whipped creams and sprinkles. Me too. Toby's eyes were wide like saucers. No, Toby, said Dad. You'd never finish a big sundae. Choose something smaller. What are you having, Joe? Damon smirked. A large banana split, please, said Joe, with extra chocolate sauce. Do you want nuts on top? Asked the waitress. Yes, please, and sprinkles too. Dad frowned. Can you eat all that, Joe? Of course he can, Uncle Lynn grinned. And I'm paying so everyone can have what they want. I better finish first, hissed Damon. What about me? Frankie whined from under Joe's chair. Sylvia always lets me lick her ice cream. Joe glanced down at Frankie. The undead dog's mouth was watering with a little pool of green zombie drool was collecting on the floor. Joe shuddered. He definitely didn't want to share a Sunday with Frankie. The dog began to moan pitifully. The waitress appeared with their sundaes. Joe gulped when he saw the size of them. His banana split was as big as a beach ball. Frankie head butted Joe's ankles. Where's mine? Joe ignored Frankie and began digging in, but with every spoonful, Frankie's moans became louder and louder. What's the matter, Joe? Damon was wiggling his spoon at him. Is the ice cream too much for you? Frankie began to howl, and then he grabbed the edge of the plastic tablecloth with his teeth and tugged. Joe looked in horror as his banana split splattered across the floor. And that's the end of chapter 4. Hey, I'm getting ready to read chapter 4 of Hour of the Doomed Dog. Wow, shrieked Toby.